What up, what up, what up, guys? Derek here, back again. Want to talk to you this time. So, first time we talked about diet again on, plain oversimplified way on how to lose fat. It's real simple. It's a real fucking simple. Go watch that other one. But I wanted to talk to you today about how I kind of set up my weightlifting routine. And I just put this out in the air right now. If you're a bodybuilder stepping on stage, whatever you did, I mean, if you're anybody that is so a myth of doing high reps and low weight to cut up the muscle, it's pure bullshit. Whatever you did to get the muscles, what you're gonna need to do to keep it, and that's oversimplified as well. That's what I should call this channel, oversimplified shit. But whatever you did to get it, you gotta do to keep it. And in that sense, it doesn't mean if you were bulking or in your fat boy stage or fat girl stage, and you were doing, let's say, a weight that women can do now and men. Say you were training up and you were squatting 315 for a solid great set of like 5 reps, and you built some good quads doing 315 for, let's say, 3 sets of 5 with like on a squat, right? So if you're starting to cut, in the beginning part of your cut, you shouldn't lose any strength at all. Maybe after you're 2 months in, let's say 20 pounds down, I'll say even 10 to 20 pounds down, maybe you will experience some, I don't want to say strength loss, probably endurance loss. I don't really think that you should. If you lose a significant amount of strength, like if you were squatting, let's say your PR for a squat was 340, right? Random number. Seems like it's about right if you're gonna rep out 315 for a couple. If you do 315 for 5, you're probably maxing, PRing or whatever. Say it's a single rep, between 340 and 360. So say you hit a PR of 350. I'm changing the numbers on your squat, with great form, right? And then you're going on this cut. I would not encourage you to keep doing 350 every so often during your cut. I'd say hit 80% of your 1 RM. And that should be your goal, to maintain that 80% for at least one set for 5 reps. And that, my personal experience with it, that seemed really doable. It wasn't until, and if you listen to my last YouTube video, I talk about my time competing. So going into my second show, when I did my own training, I did my own diet and got counseling from my coach, basically how to adjust it as I go along, and getting it ready until like the week before the show, or maybe like 2 weeks before the show. That's when he stepped in at 3 weeks before the show, changed my diet, then got me straight on peak week. But at any rate, I was able to hit 80% for 4 to 5 reps on all of my main lifts: bench, squat, deadlift, for up until 3 weeks before my show. Then my bench was the first thing to go. It took a dive. And then my squat, my deadlift were good 2 weeks out. And then the week before, that's it. And then the week up before, I tried to do shit I used to warm up with, and I fucking died. That whole peak week was terrible as far as performance in the gym, but that's not what you're after at that point. At any rate, what you do to get the muscle is what you gotta do relatively to keep it. So, like I said, if you could bang out a couple sets of 5 reps of 315, so say you could do 3 by 5 at 315, I'd say that your cut is going well if at the end of it or past the halfway point you are still able to at least hit one set of 5 at 315. That's a good indication that you did things right. But my approach to training, so that's the first myth I wanted to get out the way. It's like, whatever you did to get it, that's what you got to do to keep it, relatively speaking. And I think the one thing I, my approach to things, I'm not going to say that anybody's approach is wrong because there's multiple ways to build muscle. So you have to be open and accommodating to everybody's training style, what they like. I'm a type of guy that likes to push the weight for the major compound lifts. So I'm pretty much a wannabe power lifter. So I'll pick a certain exercise like squat, deadlift, bench, overhead press. I will set my performance goals based around those. I will what I essentially do is I do those exercises first in my routine. Leg day I start off with squat, back day I start off with deadlift. I consider deadlift a back exercise, but I'm biased because my legs are typically strong and I never have an issue with breaking it off the floor. If I can't break it off the floor, then I can't lift it at all. That's one of the things that it is. My back is the problem, so I count it as a back exercise. Chest, start off with incline bench on every chest day. Incline bench because when I was doing flat bench repeatedly, I would always mess something up in my shoulder. Right shoulder, left shoulder. It would just tweak every time. Every time I tried to PR on my shoulder on a bench press. So I learned that I could maintain my chest that I already had or the muscle mass there by doing incline press. And as my incline got stronger, my upper chest filled out a little bit more too. So like, I don't want to have, flat up here and then have these big ass titties at the bottom. So I just switched to incline press. My chest size stayed. I'm not gonna say it stayed the same because my chest grew. But now I do. I'm drifting. So I start every chest day with incline press, and start every shoulder day with overhead press, standing overhead press, and I try to do the strict press. So no hip drive, no knee bend, just on a racket, bang, just go. Start off, make sure I come to. So when I'm doing it, I'll try to make sure that it touches at least underneath of my chin, when my head is shifted up. That's just the reference I use. For some weights, I can actually start like down all the way down here at my chest. Other times, but my typical range is like kind of like at my neck, like at my Adam's apple. At any rate, to get back onto the topic, my training style. So I'm the type of person that likes to push weight. Like I said, want to be power lifter. Fake it till you make it. So what I'll do is I will track those lifts and then do all my other exercises or accessories to those lifts. So I know if those lifts are going up. So what I'll typically do is okay. So I set up like a month-long block or 4-week block. It started off that way when I was going through the motions of mentally making it, but essentially it's changed now to kind of like an auto-regulation kind of deal. What I'll do so I'll just take my squat, just an example, but I do this on all of them. Or no, I'll take my overhead press because I care about shoulders because I don't have any. They're really small in comparison to the rest of my body, and my arms. But at any rate, so what I'll do, I'll take a weight, progress it up. Let's say I will do. I'm not even going to say less without give you a hypothetical. I'll just pull it up on my phone right now. Bear with me as it loads in Google Drive. So what I found out that I could do 195 pounds for 8 reps on a standing overhead press. I didn't find out. That's where I am now. So what I'll end up doing, I figured out I could do it for 8 reps with good form for all 8. So I'll type that in. I'll get my estimated 1 rep max. It says my estimated 1 rep max is 245 standing overhead press. On a super awesome, great fucking day, maybe. But it's probably not. But that's not it. That's not the point of this. That's just my estimated 1 rep max. So it really just helps me program for the rest of my workout. I don't ever attempt to try that. By the time I attempt to try 245, it wouldn't be a 1 rep max anymore. it would be something like 3 reps. I should be able to get it for 3 reps. Then I might try it on a day where I'm feeling good. So I'll take that number as my estimated 1 rep max, do 60%, 70%, 80%, 90%, or 60%, 65%, 70, 75%, 80, 85%, 90%. So what I do week 1, or what I'm going to call week 1 in this auto regulation thing, is I'll start off, I'll go in the gym, I'll warm up, I'll work my way up progressively to whatever 60% of my estimated 1 rep max is. In this case, it's 147, so I'll put 145 on the bar. I'll do 8 reps. Next set, I'll do 70%. So according to this, it's 172. I'll put on 170 or 175. It's smack dab in the middle. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. It's just, it's just a tool. You can round up or round down. Don't get too hung up on it though. So I'll do the second set at 70% for 8 reps, and I'll do 80%, which is 195. I'll do that, or 196, and I'll just round down. I'll do 195 for 8 reps, and then I'll do back down sets, 3 sets of 8 reps at 70% of my 1 rep max. So that's week 1 for that heavy compound. Then what I'll do week 2, I will do the same thing again. I'll do 60% for 8 reps, 70% for 8 reps, 80% for 8 reps, but then I'll do 80% again and try to get 8 reps if I can. Or essentially that's kind of like what I force. At this stage in the game, I will. Earlier on, when I first started doing it, I would force the issue. If it looked sloppy but I still got 8, then I would count it, and then the third week I would move up in progression, and I'll talk about that next. But now what I do is, if it doesn't look good that second set of 8, then I'll just nix it. I'll just be like, nah, I'm not strong enough yet. So I'll attempt to do that second set of 8. If I get 6, I won't drop like the weight on the bar, but I'll put it down. So I'll get my 6, I'll put it down, I'll take a breath, I'll get my last 2 reps, and then I'll do 2 sets of 70% again. So paying attention to 6 total sets still. First set is 60%, the second set is 70%, the third set is 80% in week 1, and then I have 3 sets of 70% right after that. Those are the first 6 sets. The second, and in week 2, the 6 sets are 60%, 8 reps, 70%, 8 reps, 80%, 8 reps, 80% again, 8 reps, and then 2 sets of 8 at 70% of my estimated 1 rep max. In week 3, I don't do that. So this is what I was doing to get stronger and bigger. In week 3, I would do 65% of my 1 rep max for the first set for 5 reps. So 5 reps at 65% of my 1 rep max. Then I would do 75% for 5 reps of my 1 rep max, estimated 1 rep max. Then I would do, in the third set, I do 85% for 5 reps. So if I got that, I feel real accomplished. I know that I've recovered enough. I've been eating good. I've been eating enough to adapt to the weight and get stronger, to progress. I've been recovering well, so getting sleep. So in week 3, I would do 3 by 5, 65%, 75%, 85% of my estimated 1 rep max, and then I would do 3 sets of 8 reps at 70% of my estimated 1 rep max as the back down sets, or the volume sets. Then in the 4th week, that's when I would go back down to 60% of my estimated 1 rep max for 8 reps, 70% for 8 reps, 80% for 8 reps, and then I would do 2 additional sets of 80% for 8 reps. So I'm doing 24 total reps at 80% of my estimated 1 rep max. And then I would do, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's 5 sets. And then I would do I would try to get 1 set of 10 at 70%. And that's stupid overkill. That's a lot of goddamn volume. So you got to be strong and have muscle endurance to accomplish that. But that's kind of how I set it up for my, or at least when I'm, really forcing the issue and forcing more strength and size at the same time. That's what I'll run, and it's not completely strength based because it is. If you can't tell, I modified, hybridized, bastardized the Jim Wendler 531 and Ogus 753. I just did 8 because I didn't like 7. Nah, I actually did 8 because just looking at the research out there, 8 reps seems to be the fewest number of reps that you can still kind of count and classify as hypertrophy rep range. It'll typically start at 8. On the lowest end, it could start at 8 and go all the way up to 15. So because although I do want size, I also want strength. I'll aim on the low end for it to get 8 reps of that, and that's why you see I dip down to 5 reps only once a month, or at least I did in the beginning. And yeah, I mean in short, that's how I did it. If when I got to that week of 3x5, if I didn't get 85% for 5 reps, if I didn't get it, like if I only got 4 reps, then I would just or if I only got 3 reps, because that happened a couple times with shoulder press, I would just repeat the whole month. Apparently, I wouldn't say that I did it wrong or that the program doesn't work. I would say maybe I didn't get enough recovery. I wasn't eating enough to support the growth. Oftentimes, I wasn't getting enough sleep. That's a problem that everybody has, or most people have a hard time getting enough sleep. So yeah, that's kind of how I set it up. That's how I set it up for my clients too. And then for the sake of hypertrophy, because I am a bodybuilder, aspiring pro, I will do the rest of my workouts in the hypertrophy range. I'll do to stick with the shoulder shit. I'll do the next exercise I do. Let's say it's a side lateral or something for the medial delt. I'll do 4x12, and then I'll hit something for the rear delts, and that'll be something my coach taught me. It's pretty much a drop set, or yeah, like he told me that, like it was a drop set. So I'll do bent over raises. I'll do like a drop set with let's say 50 pounds, 40 pounds, 30 pounds, 10 reps each, and that counts as one set. And then I'll do that. So still, if you look at the volume in that, it's 30 reps. It's probably a solid. It's probably a high quality. I'd say 20 reps of them are definitely good reps. Maybe the last couple on the 50 pounds shady, the last couple on the 40 pounds are shady. Typically all of them on the 30 pounds are pretty good. And I'm just throwing out the numbers for the weights. What I'll actually do is sometimes I'll do 60, 40, 20 as far as pound dumbbells to do the bent over laterals. Other times, because some days I feel like fucking around, I guess. Other times, or no, it depends on which gym I go to too. But at any rate, sometimes I'll do I can't get to 60s, they're gone, or somebody has both sets of them. So I'll do 50, 40, 30, or I'll do 50, 35, 20. So that's a 15-pound drop each and every time. Or just different stuff like that. So the only thing that I really push in that 8 rep range is the major compound lift, and even on deadlifts, and that's fucking brutal. 8 reps of deadlifts is fucking work. And I just had my first experience with kilo plates. A single rep of deadlifts on kilo plates is motherfucking work. So yeah, the heavy compounds are the only ones that I do the 8 reps on. Everything else I'll typically do 10, 12, 15 reps on. When it comes to shoulders and legs, so for back and chest, my numbers tend to stick in between 10 and 12. On chest day, most exercises are 10 reps. For back day, most of my exercises after the deadlift are 12 reps or 15 sometimes, 12 and 15. On leg day, I'll do my squats at 8 reps, which is also brutal. And the other, I guess, quote unquote accessory work is typically for leg day, I'll do 12 to 15 reps as well. Legs, I know for anybody that wants big legs, I know the way that I got mine unknowingly back in the day was typically doing heavy weight and high reps, and then I got on with my coach, and it was just more of the same. It was heavy weight and high reps. I mean, if you want big ass legs, you're gonna have to. I'd say if you want big legs quick, sacrifice your six pack, sacrifice your abs. Allow yourself to get in a calorie deficit. Allow yourself to get kind of fat. Hit heavy weight and high reps. I don't know why. I feel like legs, a surefire way to get them big is to abuse the hell out of them. Ain't no better way than stacking up the leg press with as much weight as you can for a full range of motion, and doing anywhere between 12 and 25 reps a set. Even on some days, back when I was training with my coach more frequently, or every day, going to my first show, man, he'd have us loaded up and be doing reps of like 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 75. Well, he never did 70. He never did 60. He would do, now being too technical, he would do, sets of 15. He'd do sets of 20, sets of 25. He'd have us do, I don't think he ever had us do sets of 30 or 40. He'd have us do sets of 50, and he'd have us do sets of 75. He'd have us do 100 rep sets. But yeah, legs, if you want them big, you gotta abuse the fuck out of them. Abuse the hell out of them. Shoulders, that's the only one I didn't talk about. The main muscle group I didn't talk about. I will hit, outside of that standing overhead press, the reps in my shoulders tend to just stay at 12 or 15. And yeah, that's it. So I hope it was helpful. Hope you learned something. Hope I gave you some kind of structure that you could run with. If I had any kind of secret sauce to getting big, getting jacked, getting strong, I just gave it away in this video right here. But yeah, that's what it is. What it is. So the first video was oversimplified dieting. The second video, you could say oversimplified power building. Hey, holla back, and be more shit coming soon. I want to talk about drugs on this channel, and that's the reason why I separated it from my cohorts over at the Fat Podcast. So I want to, I need to read up on some stuff before I just blab off at the mouth, make some notes. I don't want to, but you guys shouldn't be taking advice from a random dude on the internet anyway. I don't want to, I don't think enough people talk about the drugs out there and bodybuilding, or, and a lot of people who take steroids aren't even bodybuilders. And then some of the people that take steroids don't even look like they lift still. So, I want to talk about it, give my 2 cents, share what I've learned through reading, through listening to, better interviews. I'll be honest with you, talking with my experience on TRT, because that'll be the next one that I do. My experience on TRT was really, really interesting, and good. I have nothing but positive things to say about it. The only negative thing that I could ever say about TRT at the moment, from my experience, is the fact I got a pin. That's it. I don't like needles, and that's it. But I'm the type of person that if the pros outweigh the cons, I will get over a fucking fear real quick. If if the pros outweigh the cons, I won't let my fear of something really stop me in pursuing anything that I really want. So, but yeah, so that's why I'm starting this, separate channel. I should probably clip this and put it on as an intro. But yeah, I'll think of more stuff that I can bring to you guys. If you are looking for a personal trainer in the DMV, in the Baltimore area, or DC and Maryland, if you're looking for a personal trainer around the Beltway, hit me up. If you need a personal trainer in between the Baltimore Beltway and the DC Beltway, I'm your guy. If you want contest prep coach, I And I'm gonna dabble in that. I want to dabble in that. That's what I really want to do. I have some experience. I feel like I could. There's a lot more stuff to learn, but so at the time being, you work with me, I work with you. It's actually like my most affordable package if you look at it. Um, Go to my website. You probably had to pass my website on my link tree to get here, but at any rate, um, if not, I will definitely tag it or have it in my YouTube, description or something. So you go to my website, see my services. I'll get back to posting blogs more frequently. I know I did them back in 2017. I put a couple out in 2018, I think, and that was about it. I don't think I really did anything in 2019, but I'm getting back on it. I want to talk about caffeine. That is my drug of choice. But I actually might put that on the Fat Podcast and put it on here as well. So I get other people's perspective on caffeine, and I can present to you my experience with caffeine as well. Yeah, so I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you for staying, especially if you stayed this long, and give me a like, comment, share, subscribe, holla back, hit me up. If you need coaching, need diet coaching, need weight training, want one-on-one, I can make you a program, make you diet. We can do the one-on-ones. And if you are a contest prep, hit me up. I'm trying to set myself up so I'm good with posing. I'm pretty good with the mandatories. I can teach you the quarter turns, teach you the mandatories. I can help you build your own routine. At least guide you in your own direction. All the fancy artistic stuff, that's not. I'm not fluent with it right yet, but I'm getting there. So yeah, that's it. That's the plug. Check out my other YouTube channels. No, I don't. If I figure out how to pop them up, I'll pop them up. But I got the Fat Podcast with the guys. I have a random other YouTube channel with with my girl. So yeah, that's it.